Kentucky Speedway was born from a vision to bring Major League Motorsports to the Bluegrass State. When the 1.5-mile trioval opened in 2000, it immediately welcomed the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the ARCA Menard Series, and IndyCar. More than a decade later, Kentucky finally earned its place on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, hosting its first Premier Series event in 2011. A repave and reconfiguration in 2016 transformed the Speedway, increasing the banking in turns 1 and 2 and creating one of the fastest intermediate tracks in the sport. The changes produced blistering qualifying speeds with drivers pushing beyond 190 miles per hour as the racing surface evolved. While Kentucky Speedway no longer hosts the NASCAR National Touring Series, its legacy remains tied to some of the sport's fastest cars and fiercest battles on a 1.5-mile oval. Tonight, that legacy continues as the stars of the ZeroX Strategy Series take on the Bluegrass State. It's the Be Life Biff 125, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Kentucky Speedway. I'm Steve Singer, joined in the broadcast booth by Zach Millett. Zach, how you doing? Welcome back.
Hey, Steve. Good to be here, man.
Getting excited here as the season winds down. The regular season, that is. A couple more races. In fact, let's take a look at that schedule as we roll into Kentucky here tonight. Michigan Speedway next week. That will wrap the season, the regular season, that is. And then the All-Star race June 30th. That'll be at Bristol Dirt. And then we jump into the playoffs. And reminder, folks, we're going to be live here on Track Limits Network going forward from the All-Star race into August 11th at Rockingham to close out the season. No more tape delay for the rest of this season. So that is definitely good news on the horizon. We'll go down trackside here, take a look at the times in this session. Fastest so far is the points leader Wesley Jeanette at 30.121 the time. Jason Blaney, Ken Lowry, Austin Walton, Brandon Moore, the top 5. And speaking of those point standings, let's take a look at that here before we get too deep into the woods. I said Wesley Jeanette. I stand corrected. I don't even know if this is correct. I entered them recently. It says Austin Boyum's the point leader. I think I may have plugged it into the wrong spot. I still believe it is Wesley Jeanette, but further down the line, I think the rest of that is correct. So a little typo on our part, but those are your standings at least coming into tonight for the Be Like Biff 125. So practice winding down, about a minute and a half left in this session. Zach, Kentucky Speedway, a somewhat unique, I wouldn't really call it a cookie cutter intermediate racetrack, but what's it take to be fast around here?
Man, it just takes you to be very consistent. You got to be really disciplined and try to roll that bottom the best you can. I've seen kind of an interesting line develop over the year. In 1 and 2, you can kind of go in like kind of the middle and do a late apex and shoot from the top down low, and it actually works pretty good. So it's a pretty racy track. You're not kind of stuck on the bottom. Should be really good racing tonight. You got to protect that right front. That's the name of the game, Steve.
Right front, especially in this car. We've heard some drivers talk at some podcasts this week. It's actually the right rear on this next gen that kind of shreds even under caution, but right front here at Kentucky, the one to pay attention to. We saw that a little bit last night in the IROC Challenge Series, though that is in the B car, not this Gen 7 Cup car.
Yeah, this new-ish next gen really likes to eat that right rear. You can kind of offset it too, if you're burning tight on that right front, you can dial a little rear brake in it and drag them a little bit, put some heat in that right rear and even it up.
Pit road could be an issue here tonight. You saw a quick snap of it just a moment ago. It's not a straight pit lane like some of these intermediates, like maybe you'd see it in Michigan. Granted, that's 2 miles, or even on Fontana. Vegas. I think Vegas is a little bit curved, but this one can be kind of tricky. Is there any tricks of the trade there, Zach, to get in and out of pit lane quickly here?
Yeah, it's kind of hard here at Kentucky. You really got to come off 4. You obviously got to be low enough to not be in the way of other drivers on the track, but you really want to make that entry as straight as possible. If you can keep it straight, you're going to brake a lot better in a straight line than if you have any kind of turn in it.
Well, qualifying about to get underway here. Juan Linares, I think, will be the first driver to roll off of pit lane here, and He's got the old modified twist going on here, trying to get some heat in those tires right out of the gate. Stream chat already busy, as always is when we do these tape-delayed broadcasts for ZeroX. It's mostly the drivers. That's always fun. Ben Smith, Ray Hanneman, Mr. Woffs. I always forget. I think that's Jackson West. Tom Janikowski, as always. Kerwin Marshall says, love this track.
Yeah, that is the best thing about these tape delays, Steve. You get everybody that was in the race usually in the chat. It's a lot of fun.
Ray Hanneman in the chat. He says, pit road was very tricky due to the update. More speeding penalties. Decimal point change. Can't go over 0.8. I think, Millet, you and I were talking about that last night.
Yeah, man, I was getting burned for 0.4. So I don't know. It could differ track to track, but yeah, it makes it pretty tricky, doesn't it?
It is interesting as it differs from track to track. I mean, it's kind of real world-ish when it comes to that sort of thing. Timing lines in different positions out on the racetrack. Pit lane, that is. And some guys get popped more at other tracks than others, so we'll see what happens here tonight. Juan Linares now fast time on the board, 30.396. Then Brett Summers second quick. Matt Sisler, Michael Thorne, and it all changes up as Austin Walton goes P1. Linares back to start finish. Wraps up his Q run. 396 will stay P2 for the time being. Well, Austin Walton. Oh, he checks up off of 4, was washing up the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall. He'll stand on lap 1's time. Brenton Watts currently 11th, now 12th. Fast lap of 30.572. Time to beat 30.347, the 9 of Austin Walton. Meanwhile, Brandon Moore goes P3, 30.371. Real quick times in those top two, both with 3.47, 3.48. Wesley Jeanette, the second quick driver right now, is Chris Pieria on the racetrack. So Chris wraps up 22nd quick for the number 13. Now Johnny DePasquale. Hell of a spec map on that machine this week.
Yeah, she is shiny.
Johnny D goes 7th quick, 30.440. Austin Walton still at the top of the board. Wesley Jeanette P2. Right up against that wall out of turn 2. Oh, and he's going to slide it through 3 and 4. Lap will go away, but an incredible piece of driving out of Johnny DePasquale to keep it straight and out of the fence.
Man, we got to give him something for that slide. I mean, give him a couple tenths off.
Give him the Zach Millett Award for that one.
That was beautiful.
Just under a minute left in the session as Chris Cornett will take to the Speedway.
This paint scheme kind of reminds me of someone I raced with last night, Steve.
The old Bud 8 colors, except it's the Bud 88 with precision on the side panels.
Beauty.
PrecisionSetups.com. Ooh, a little downshift there for Cornett. Wonder if Johnny D did the same thing. Maybe that's what got the car to come around on him. Oh, and he doesn't get back to the line in time.
Man, almost made it.
So Chris will not lock in an official lap there. And that'll do it for qualifying with I think the 9 Austin Walton, top of the charts. So it's about that time, Zach. Let's go to our starting grid on the pole position from Trash House Racing with a time of 30.347. It's the 9 of Austin Walton, closely flanked by the 74 of Wesley Jeanette. Missed it by 1/1000th of a second. In row number 2, Brandon Moore and Jason Blaney. Row number 3 to be Juan Linares and Ken Lowry. Row 4, Johnny DePasquale and Ray Hanneman. Johnny sitting on his first lap of 2. Wasn't able to complete a solid and clean lap number 2. Row 5 is Jason Aranchak and Nick Gardner. Starting 11th will be John Tiller. 12th goes to Kerwin Marshall. 13th starter is Jackson West. 14th belongs to Ben Smith. 15th is Brett Summers. 16th is last year's champion Matt Sisler. Not having a solid year here, deep in the point standings. I think about 16th, oddly enough. 17th starter is Brenton Watts. Clint Hayfield will start 18th. Nathan Line 19th. Riley Hassard rolls off from the 20th spot. Scott Stockel will occupy the 21st position with Tommy Pulte 22nd. 23rd, Michael Thorne, Chris Pieria 24th. 25th starter, it's Nathaniel Ostrowski. Cody Austin 26th. 27th is Tony Smith. And last but not least, the 217 of Darren Jones will start from the 28th and shotgun position on the field. It's your starting grid here from Kentucky Speedway. We are not far away from getting this one underway. Well, Zach, you got a pick?
Oh, man. I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with the 74 car. Wesley Jeanette. I feel like he's going to be in front at the end of this thing. Who do you think?
It's hard to say. It really is. The point standings are so tight at the top of the field. Those Fueled Up Motorsports guys have been tough all season long. I'm going to go with the 1 of Johnny DePasquale just because of that save in qualifying. It negated his second lap, but it was still brilliantly done.
Yeah, and it was still a fast first lap, so I think he'll be fast.
Race details in case you missed it. 125 laps the distance tonight. Pit road speed limit 45 miles per hour. 65% load of fuel on board. 2 sets of tires over the wall. 1 faster pair. And I think 1 attempt at a green-white checkered is all we have. The 1 faster pair, I don't think we usually get a faster pair. Dustin, if you're out there in the chat, really any of you guys, you know. Thought we only had 1 faster pair at some tracks, but double check that, guys, see if there is one. I can't keep them straight these days. But there we are, the Be Life Biff 125 about to get underway. Field rolling into turn number 3 behind the iRacing pace car. Lights are out, ready to get this thing underway. Trying to get this field lined up a little tighter here. Juan Linares needs to tighten it up a bit. Everybody on that inside line. Pace car heads to pit lane. That is really an abrupt entry there to pit lane there, Zach. That's going to be tough tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
So Austin Walton at his home track puts it pole position. The green flag is in the air. We are underway from Kentucky Speedway. Field clean out of turn number 2 as they spill out on the back straightaway just as fast. They're into turn number 3. Wesley Jeanette goes P1, but the battle for second is on. Jason Blaney up the middle, goes around the pole center, up the racetrack, bangs doors with his teammate, coming to the line. Wesley Jeanette's going to lead lap 1, but will he lead lap number 2?
Was that the first lap or the last lap, Steve?
No kidding, man. What a last lap that would have been, but they got it out of the way right out of the gate. Battle continues for the race lead between the teammates. Wesley Jeanette on the high side. Blaney dumps it down to center track. Tries to get a better entry here into 3, but the 74 is occupying that space to his right side. Will settle in behind. Jeanette maintains the top spot.
Yeah, it was a really good move by the 74 car to kind of squeeze Blaney down and not give him the exit there. You saw Blaney have to check up to make the corner.
Walton takes another peek now to the inside on Jason Blaney. Trash House Racing putting it on pole position here tonight. Slips back to P3 in the opening laps. Still a good showing so far. Again, only 3 laps on the board here, and everybody's singled out pretty much now. Trying to settle into a rhythm, get some heat in the tires, bring those air pressures up, get into a rhythm here at Kentucky.
We do have verification too, Steve, that there is no fast repair, only on super speedways for this season.
Now, for the record, I copied and pasted that information to Dustin just to make sure it was right. He confirmed it was right, but it wasn't. So everybody, give Dustin a hard time.
Yep. Another big thing about this place too, Steve, is especially in this car, is the dirty air. That's why I think these guys were fighting so hard on that first lap to get out front, because the car out front, they control the whole field. You know, they got all the clean air, they can make the corner, they can go easier on the tire, still make pace. It's going to be difficult for these guys to really keep that nose peaked out on the left side to keep some air on the nose of that thing.
Jackson West took a peek to the outside of Brandon Moore. That would have been for the 6th position. Still working the upper lane here. Could work a little higher if it starts to rubber in. Zach, is there a lot of benefit, or really any benefit, to be even a lane higher than Jackson was running there? Is that 3rd lane even accessible at any point during the race?
Yeah, I think once it rubbers in a little bit, I think it might turn into something. It'll definitely really be nice exit speed coming off. But, I mean, basically it's a game of, if you're trying to make a pass, you just got to run where they're not.
Ben Smith, and he's really loose, but he hangs on to it. That was Brett Summers in the 7, and they're still trying to wreck. Matt Sisler will get to the bottom. They were 3 wide just before the exit. They get doubled back up. Still 3 wide now with Michael Thorne on the bottom. Chris Pieria in the middle.
Boy, heck of a job by those guys checking up and everybody by keeping their cars straight.
A traffic jam at 180 miles an hour here at Kentucky. Oh, the 41 almost goes around. He hangs on to it. Nathaniel Ostrowski with his hands full out of turn number 2 was pitched sideways and almost an issue there. I think it was John Tiller in the 20 coming together with Jason Aranchak. They'll go 3 wide with the 7 of Summers up top. What is happening?
Man, we're only 10 laps into this thing, and I maybe the tires are starting to react already, but pretty dicey, Steve.
I want to make note here, we got a real fast mover, a couple of them actually. Chris Pieria up 11 positions in the first 9 laps. I make another note, Chris Cornett, he's done the same. The number 88 machine to the top of the racetrack. He's up to 11, now 12 positions.
Still going, too. See his car kind of wash up the track there. He's going to lose a little pace on the exit here.
Wise
the air really got him.
Wise enough to lift there and keep it out of the fence, but it slows the momentum, opens the door again now for the 21 of Brenton Watts. Michael Thorne having a strong run here tonight. He's up 8 positions too. Oh, Cornett pound cakes the wall.
I was thinking he was going to take that 3 wide into 1 there. That would have been tight.
Corwin Marshall, the Jets, has started last place up to 15th. My guess is maybe Kerwin had an EOL to start this one because it shows he's in 17th down 5. So maybe qualified 12th but had to go to the back. That would be my guess.
Working on the biggest mover award.
Kerwin Marshall to the inside of Tommy Pulte here. Pulte in the number 26, Marshall in the 4. Things unchanged at the front of the field for the most part. Jeanette Walton 1 and 2, though. Jason Blaney has slipped to the 9th position. Might be a strategic move for the 22, saving some tires. Jackson West now up to 3rd. Hanneman 4th. Lowry 5th. We'll still watch this battle here. It's for the 17th position between Marshall and Tommy Pulte. Kerwin does confirm it. He had an EOL to start this race, so his qualifying position negated, which sent him to the back. Ooh. Smith out of line. Tony's bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, we got a problem here, Steve.
I don't think he hit anything.
Car looks pretty clean. He's going to stay out on track here.
Tony Smith, admittedly a driver relatively new, trying to figure things out, and it's getting better. I will say that much. And actually a really wise move. If he's struggling there in the pack, got shuffled out a little bit, decided, I'm going to check up here and just run some laps. Maybe not a bad plan. Got to give him credit for using his head. ...16 laps quickly on the board here at Kentucky Speedway. Chris Pieria, again, up 11 positions from the drop of the green flag, running in the 13th spot. Michael Thorne runs into the back of him, though. Straightens it up. Still trying to save it. Oh, and he tank slaps, locks him down. I don't think he hit the wall, though. It's still coming around. So the caution will come out. Oh, that was close.
That was really close. That would have been devastating. Go through that entire slide and keep it off the wall just to get hammered by somebody not checking up.
Yeah, and that was, I don't know if the caution just came out late. It's hard to tell with the replay file because the indicator to the overlays comes so much later than it was actually called for. And in fact, I don't even show it called for in my timing and scoring. In fact, I don't think it's come out officially. We hear the cars have slowed considerably, but again, we can't show the replay on the tape delays, because if I hit live, the race is over and we just go to the bar.
Well, part of that sounds okay, Steve, but I want to see the rest of this thing first.
It's a valid point. So Chris Pieria, all those positions gained have been washed away, plus 2 extras. But man, he never stopped driving that thing.
That was a good thing, you know, he kept the damage out of it. That's what matters. Throw a set of tires on there and be just like brand new.
So pit lane open, leaders will come down. Again, 2 sets of tires over the wall.
Looks like maybe Austin Walton chose to stay out there at the very last second.
Which on these early pit stops, I kind of like it. Just for the fact it gives us an opportunity to see how much fall off is there really.
Well, I bet you there's quite a bit. I mean, it was actually kind of like last night's race, really. I mean, probably about the same, maybe even earlier, maybe lap 9 or 10 when that first caution came out. And then we went green most of the way, so kind of depends on what happens here.
Looks like fuel up and down pit lane only. Austin Walton, Ben Smith, Kerwin Marshall, Brenton Watts, they all stayed out. So it wasn't just the Lone Ranger staying on the racetrack, our pole sitter tonight. A few others decided, yeah, I'll give it a shot. We'll try that strategy, see how it plays out.
Yeah, I like this for Jeanette, though. To come down, top off the tank, have 19 more laps than the cars in front of you, and you're only going to be in P5, that's a pretty good risk, I think. That's worth coming in.
Jason Ranchak will come down to pit. Kerwin Marshall says track position call. Kerwin, one of the drivers that opted to stay on the racetrack. We'll see if it pays off. It's a bold strategy there, Cotton.
We'll see if it pays off.
So the front row for the restart. We'll put Austin Walton, the pole sitter, back up in front. He'll be the control car as we come back to green. Ben Smith will restart to the outside. Row 2, Kerwin Marshall, Brenton Watts. Row 3, Wesley Jeanette and Raymond Hanneman. The difference here, again, we said everybody on pit lane. I don't think anyone took tires, so I don't think this is going to hurt anybody as far as the pace is concerned for those that stay out, other than the fact those guys have a little bit more weight in the back end of the car. Looks like Michael Thorne, though, and Tony Smith opted for a set of tires. They're about 26th and 27th in the running order.
I was going to say, it's always funny because there's always somebody that forgets to uncheck those tires, and it's going to be pretty obvious who's super fast this run. I think it's a good move for the Trash House guys here, though, Steve, because a bunch of teammates up front here, they can kind of control this thing.
Well, here we go. Base car is in. Green flag. Walton gets back out into the lead. Wesley Jeanette, though, all over the back bumper of Kerwin Marshall.
Ooh, good run into 3 by Jeanette there. He saw that the 4 car was going to go low and quickly decided to go to that middle lane, and it paid off.
Almost got him a little side draft there onto the 4. Slowed his momentum slightly on entry. Was right up to the door.
We'll see if the 9 car runs high here to kind of put the dirty air on Jeanette's car, but nope, he's going to go low. It's going to give Jeanette a pretty good runoff exit here.
Back to the line, Walton continues to lead. Wesley Jeanette, a car length and a half, maybe 2 back. Has a good run through the tri-oval, closes the gap to within 1. But a big early checkup there for the 74. He'll have to run on exit here. Gets back to the gas a little sooner than the 9, and they're 3 wide behind him. Hanneman in the middle. Jackson West goes around the outside. Hanneman just barely clearing himself off the 76, but pulls it back to the bottom in front of teammate Jason Blaney. Ben Smith has fallen back a little bit now to the 7th position. Swaps lanes, though, has the run on Jason Blaney. West seems to be overdriving it just a touch. He really washes up the racetrack. Michael Thorne making up some spots on those new tires. He's running in the tire tracks of Chris Pieria, who did not change tires even with that spin. These are the 2 cars involved in our previous caution. Thorne ran into the back of Chris there.
Kind of shows you how important these tires are, Steve, when you got a limited amount of sets over the wall.
Going to go 3 wide. Pieria takes the middle. Yeah, Chris really hanging on to those tires. Says, I know I slid them, but I'm going to deal with it for now. Pieria swaps lanes, looks to the inside of Thorne, and he hooks him.
That was kind of a block going into 3 there. Oh, he's kind of loose himself. Oh, he hangs on to it.
I don't know, Zach. Was that a little payback there?
I don't know. I think it was kind of a late block going into 3, and I just don't think he was going to have it right there.
So Caution out for the second time tonight here at Kentucky Speedway. Austin Walton continuing to lead. You said it earlier, Zach, clean air is going to be a big factor here tonight. Seems that that's the case at this point. We saw how aggressive Jason Blaney was on that initial start. Wanted to get out in that clean air. Austin Walton's been taking full advantage of it on this short run to our second caution.
Yeah, we kind of saw it that last restart there, too, with Jeanette. It looked like he was going pretty hard for a couple laps to see if he could get up to the front, but the 9-car Austin Walton was doing a good job of just putting air on his bumper and staying out front.
Ray Hanneman in the chat. He wrecked him.
In caps.
That's kind of how it looked. I mean, he got run, Perry got run over the first time, and then he got the opportunity to do something about it later. I can't say that I blame him. Right or wrong, I'm not taking sides here, but I think they're even at this point. Yeah, Mr. Waff says now they're even. Well, there you go.
Right, yep.
So real short run. I don't think we're going to see anybody pit here, will we?
Man, I wouldn't think so. I think if I was P13 or in that vicinity, I'd come down top off anyway, but up front, I don't see it.
Corin Marshall in the chat says keep track position. I think that's going to be the name of the game here tonight. I think Walton's playing a fake here.
No, I think he's trying to keep as much fuel in that tank as possible.
And waits till the last minute. Almost last minute. At least for the painted lines. You don't have to worry too much about that big orange box.
I'm actually really surprised that Austin picked the top lane here. I was thinking he'd go bottom and have his teammate behind him and maybe get a good jump on the field.
Well, again, you got to keep in mind, I mean, he's the control car. He gets to fire first, and he'll be able to carry that momentum down the backstretch. He'll have enough of a jump on Jeanette, as long as Jeanette doesn't time it just so. Again, we've said it a couple times tonight. It's a bold strategy, but it could pay off.
Never know, I guess. Maybe they know something we don't.
Well, I'm sure he knows something that I don't. You, on the other hand, I don't know. I haven't been behind the wheel in months, and now that they got those NASCAR Euro cars available, I might actually have to clip on the wheel and turn some laps.
Yeah, get the dust off that thing. Let's do that tonight, right after the broadcast. I'll buy it with you. I'll support you.
Well, I think we're in demo mode right now, aren't we?
That's even better.
I think we can run it for nothing. Pace car comes to pit lane. About to get things back underway here at Kentucky. Walton waiting. Real long wait. Maybe
it's to get that restart zone.
That or I don't know where the restart zone is.
Yeah, it was a little later.
I saw the Geico logo at the bottom. I thought that was it, but apparently not. But it works. Walton gets to the bottom, and it opens the door for two fueled-up teammates to be banging doors side by side off at turn number 2. Ray Hanneman, though, has the run down the back. Driving it in deeper is Wesley Jeanette.
Yeah, you see how the 9 car's on the bottom there is just feeding that dirty air to Hanneman's car.
Still a battle for second. As Jason Blaney comes into the picture here. Fueled up motorsports drivers, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Or is it Corin Marshall trying to take the spot?
Ooh.
On board with the fourth place machine of Jason Blaney. Just watching two of his teammates duke it out here. I will say, it's something that we've seen a lot more of in the last handful of races. These fueled up motorsports drivers notoriously take care of each other. I wouldn't say that they're not doing that now, but they certainly are racing each other harder than we have seen in races past. It's very refreshing, but it's cool because there's a lot of good racing with these guys. They really race hard, but they don't hurt each other.
Yeah, and I mean, that's hard to do when there's 8 of you. You know, so you're kind of bound to have to race one of the guys pretty hard, but
Jason Blaney grabbing a gear. Fourth gear downshift into the corner. I think he's doing that in 3 and 1. Zach, what's the big advantage there? Is he doing that to keep it in the power band, or is he doing that to get the car to rotate on entry, or both?
I'm thinking it's both. I think he's got to keep his nose peeked out just to get a little bit of air in the bumper so he doesn't wash up on exit. And I think that fourth gear will help the car slow down and get turned.
Now, I'm curious with Austin Walton with the clean air, how is he approaching it? He's in 5th gear in the middle of the corner. He's got all that front downforce.
Oh, yeah. You're spoiled rotten when you're up front. It's nice.
Oh, there's a gear change. Making a liar out of me.
Maybe just on the one end, though.
And you know what I've noticed? Let's see if he shifts again here into turn 1. I don't think he did last time, but I think the hand actually, it's moving. I know we just had a pretty big update yesterday. I don't know if that's new, or has that always been there?
I feel like it's been doing that. Yeah, I think at least a couple updates ago, maybe not. I actually drive with the wheel and the hands off, so.
Well, we're in replay mode, so.
Oh, that's true too, yeah.
So Austin Walton continues to lead here at Kentucky Speedway. Fueled up motorsports drivers ganged up on him here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Carwin Marshall running in the 6th spot. Brandon Moore in 7th. Matt Sisler, 8th. Ken Lowry, 9th. Nick Gardner, 10th. Mr. Woffs in the chat says Trash House has been building this year. So watch this battle with Nick Gardner and John Tiller. Tiller in the
setup.
Go ahead.
Are these open setups over here, Steve, or fixed?
So I think it's a fixed setup, but I think it's a custom setup, and drivers in the chat can confirm that. I'm pretty sure they're running custom setups in this league, but everybody gets the same one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Tiller clear of Gardner. Battle for 13th. Juan Linares has it over Jackson West for the time being. Jackson back about a car length and a half. So Ben Smith confirming in the chat, we started with custom fixed, now it's just fixed. Ray Hanneman seconds that notion. Mr. Woff says we're fully fixed, so motion carried.
Boy, power move on the outside by that 88 car. That was a beautiful looking pass.
I tell you, Cornette, he's got some wins under his belt this season, but When he wants to show a flash of speed, he's certainly good at doing just that. This field pretty well settled into a run, though, for the most part. It's kind of what we saw earlier on. Everybody kind of got single file with the exception of a handful of drivers. Juan Linares now making a move to the outside of Gardner. Tony Smith had a moment on the racetrack. He's coming to pit lane very slowly.
Yeah, I think that was that pit road entry that we were talking about. Might have bit him here.
Might be day done for Tony Smith. See if he comes back out. Austin Walton, though, continuing to show some dominance here at Kentucky. A half-second plus back to Wesley Jeanette and Jason Blaney. Hanneman has fallen back to 4th, and it's Johnny DePasquale in 5th. He's run down to 12. Kerwin Marshall still comfortable in the 6th position with Brandon Moore, car length and a half back. Ben Smith now back to the 19th position. He's got Briley Hassard trying to make some momentum. Comes back to the outside across start finish. And Austin Walton on pit lane. Been on the green, well, out there at least for 44 laps. It's time to come and make a pit stop. Now, Zach, with that said, it was 44 laps. Obviously, he hasn't pit until just now. We had a couple of cautions to break up and extend that fuel window a little bit. What do you think that calculates down to as far as a full green flag run?
Yeah, what do you think? I'm kind of leaning towards maybe 35, 36 laps.
I was thinking 38. I'm not really a math guy, so I trust your number more than mine.
Yeah, we're both in New York, so we're kind of hopeless with the whole math.
Yeah, but you're close to Canada. You might be metric.
It's more maple syrup than anything.
Yeah, but it's in liters.
That's true.
So Walton will make a pit stop here under green flag conditions. That's going to get him very off cycle here, so keep an eye on that. See if it cycles him back through once these guys get to their first green flag stops. And I guess that question really remains is if we get to those green flag stops. Obviously, a caution would kind of be a pretty big detriment here to the 9 after that stop.
Yeah, and the scary thing for Austin Walton right now is, and unless SDK is just messing with me, which it does time to time, it's showing Nathan Lyons the first car lap down, and they're not exactly really close to each other. So if that's the case, Austin's really hoping this stays green a little while, at least so those fresh tires will get him past Nathan Lyon and get him into that lucky dog spot.
Jackson West in the chat says full fuel was 41 and a half laps. So I was closest.
Yeah, I really thought the cautions would have saved more than that, but...
But again, he was out in front.
That is true, yeah. So
Clean air helps it handle, but it's going to burn more fuel. So lap 50 goes on the board here. We'll take another look here at the pit strategies. Just about everybody, 31 laps on this tank of fuel. Cornette, though, he's made 2 pit stops.
So, yeah, another 10 laps or so by these leaders right now, and then they're going to have to come down. It'll be interesting to see how everybody cycles out.
Well, we know almost certainly if we stay green, Cornette's going to cycle to the lead here because he's got a ways to go before he needs to worry about fuel, unless he decides he wants to get back on the same strategy. But I don't see a world where that's the greatest of decisions. Johnny DePasquale making moves, looks to the inside of Ray Hanneman, this for the third position. Matt Sisler having a solid day here, up 10 positions in P6. This stage of the game, Zach, I think everybody's just settled in here waiting for their opportunity for a green flag stop. And so far, the way that it's going, it seems like everybody's anticipating that's going to be the case.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, with the dirty air being as bad, making it so difficult to pass. We might see some short pitting here just to see if they're going to gain some track position. Even a couple spots would make it worth it.
Speaking of which, Matt Sisler from 6th spot will come to pit lane. He's been known to make some strategy calls over the last couple seasons.
The 3 birdies golf apparel machine.
Sisler right side's going on, the number 31 Chevy Camaro. We all know it's still a Camaro.
Amen.
4 tires and fuel, down he goes. $14.99 to stop. And we got more takers. Wesley Jeanette, Jason Blaney, Johnny DePasquale, Clint Hayfield all coming down. Kerwin Marshall reporting that the car tended to get better over the course of the run. Don't know if that's the same for everybody or just him, but either way, that's good news for most drivers. Now Ken Lowry on pit lane. Ray Hanneman is cycled to the race lead. Brandon Moore second, Tiller third, Cornette fourth, Jackson West up to fifth. The 11 of Ben Smith reporting the same as Kerwin Marshall. Later in the race, car definitely got better. Ben Smith smacking his forehead says 60 laps on tires. Whoops.
Heck yeah.
So Hanneman now on lap 40. Said the window was about 41 and a half laps. We'll see how long Hanneman opts to try and stretch things. Cody Austin in the pits. Bolt on right sides, likely to be a 4-tire stop. Jackson West's team up on the pit wall, getting ready to service the number 76 machine. Jackson running in P5. These fueled up motorsports drivers stretching it even further. Lap 42 for Hanneman and Moore. Same for Tiller, West, and Linares. Mr. Wasp might want to check his calculator.
Hanneman saying he's got that Penske tank.
Gonna give you a fuel line that'll hold an extra gallon of gas. Stays out again.
I wonder what happened to Austin Walton there, Steve. He's still back in the 15th spot. Showed a lap down.
Well, you were mentioning how he was still behind Nathan Line. That's remained the case. Just curious to see the distance between those two. Wow, Hanneman and Moore really stretching it. John Tiller will give up the ghost and come down, but we're on lap 44 now. With a battle for the lead, no less. Jackson West will finally come down and pit while the Fueled Up Motorsports drivers 1 and 2 stay out on the racetrack yet again. It's 44 laps plus now for those two. Jackson in the box comes to the attention of his crew.
It's a good looking Coors car. Mountains are definitely blue.
Yep. And a whole bunch of Woodies pitting it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Raising. Waiting on fuel. Down he goes. Jackson West. A slow stop, though. 1691. It's Ray Hanneman.
That thing full.
Finally pulls off. Brandon Moore stays out for another lap.
Imagine this will be the one. Yeah, here he comes.
46 laps under green for Brandon Moore.
It looked like a pretty smooth pit entry there. The car wasn't moving a bit. Had it real nice and straight.
So Riley Hassard cycles to the race lead. Chris Cornett up to second. And it's Chris Pieria, Brett Summers, Darren Jones, Tommy Pulte needing to pit still. We say it each and every week, Zach, between whether it's me and you or me and Colt. All the strategies that this series produces, it's very befitting of its name, the ZeroX Strategy Series. We've been under a green flag cycle of stops here for the last 10, 15 laps.
Yeah, you know, over the years, I look at leagues by how many green flag pit stops they get. And if they keep getting these green flag pit stops and long green runs, I mean, it's just a successful looking league. I'd love to see it.
Riley Hassard with the lead. Now we'll look at his strategy. He's at lap 40. The top four drivers all 40 laps in. Jones and Pulte, a little bit more fuel on board. So within the next 4 or 5 laps, expect those top 6 drivers to come down and make their pit stops. Jackson in the chat says, thank you. Dustin didn't like the Buzz Lightyear, so we went with Woody this week since I feel like Woody would have been a banquet guy if he could drink.
Absolutely.
100%. And it's got to be in the beer grenade.
Absolutely.
So Zach, we've only got 6 cars on the lead lap right now, and Austin Walton has finally cycled back to the lucky dog position in P7. But again, these top 6 still need to make their pit stop.
Yeah, it's races like this and long green flag runs that really make me appreciate the track map. Cars are so spread out, it's easier to tell where everybody is.
Chris Pieri and Tommy Pulte in the pits, and the race leader, Briley Hassard, will come down in pit. Chris Cornett, as we predicted, cycles to the race lead. Summers up to second. Darren Jones may cycle back now to the 3rd position under these pit cycle. Four-tire change for Briley Hassard. $15.11 the stop for the 16 machine as Chris Cornett and Brett Summers will come down. Darren Jones in the pits too.
Well, this is going to kind of cycle everybody back onto the lead lap here to make it look a lot more normal.
And speaking of cycles, Wesley Jeanette cycles around to the race lead. Blaney takes the 2nd spot, and there it is, Austin Walton back on the lead lap in the 3rd position. Again, off cycle with his tire strategy. Kind of got leapfrogged there, I think, in that same department. Let's try to look at the lap times here as Jeanette runs a 31:01. Blaney a 31:22. They pit at the same time. Austin Walton 10 laps earlier. He runs a 31:64. So that's a handful of tenths to be concerned with for the 9 of Austin Walton.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of that pace difference, he'll definitely be dropping a few more spots here, but he's got to be getting pretty close to that pit time.
Well, we've cycled everybody through on this green flag run here at Kentucky Speedway. We're going to take a track limit side-by-side break. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back to Kentucky Speedway, 82 laps about to be completed by Wesley Jeanette. Jason Blaney running second. Matt Sisler now finds his way into the top three for the first time this evening. Austin Walton falling back. Again, a little bit older tires. We saw the lap times before we went to break. It's 4 or 5 tenths off the leader's pace, and it's still showing. Here is Johnny DePasquale and Ray Hanneman now creeping up the back bumper. Zach, what options does Austin Walton have here at this point? He's just got to kind of grin and bear it right now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. He wants to get this strained out as much as he can and survive on these tires as long as possible. But I don't know, he's just hanging on here, it looks like.
Been a very clean race up to this point. Only 2 cautions, and they were very minor ones at that. Oh, contact there. Brenton Watts and Ray Hanneman, I think, coming together there off turn number 4. I think Brenton Watts is a lap car. Yes, it is. Brenton Watts, the number 21, shown in the 26th position currently, 6 laps down.
Ooh, he's up here dicing it up with these guys.
He does have much fresher tires. He pitted at lap 72.
But what to gain?
I mean, if it was a caution fest, I could kind of understand it because, you know, if you get enough of those, you kind of get yourself back in contention if it falls just your way. But this has been, like we just said a moment ago, a very clean race. There's really not a whole lot to gain out of this. Now he's going to make it 3 wide here on DePasquale and Walton.
Yeah, I don't like this move.
Slides up the
especially
track.
coming up the track. Yeah, I don't like that. It's a good thing Johnny had his wits about him and saw him coming and kind of moved up to prevent any kind of wreck there. I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of cars that are a single lap down, so I mean, they're all going to be due for the lucky dog. So I mean, I don't really know if I'd be running this hard.
Ray Hanneman in the chat. 6 laps.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, man.
Scary moment for sure.
It's almost like driving in New York, Steve. You just got to drive defensive. You got to look around you. There might be weapons everywhere.
Typically, especially on the I-90. So let me ask you this, Zach. I mean, you've spent a lot of time in this Gen 7 car as of late. When you're out there running against these guys and you've got a guy out there that's laps down, but he's got fresh tires and he's quote-unquote making you look bad because he's passing you with ease, is there a tendency with the racer inside you to try and race that guy to say, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I mean, usually if you end up doing it, you either end up upside down or stuck behind him when he burns his stuff up in 5 laps and dealing with his dirty air. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. You just kind of, as a racer, you know, hope that other guys don't do that. But it is what it is sometimes. You just got to deal with it.
Speaking of lose-lose, Austin Walton coming to pit lane, having to take that set of tires yet again here, screaming for fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles. This will be the last set he's got to his benefit. I think this could get them to the end on fuel, though.
I think, yeah, you're reading my mind here, Steve. I think he's going to be right on the cuff of making this thing. Oh, boy, that is tough. last set of tires, it makes you wonder, you're going to go out and run real hard and expect it to stay green, or you're going to kind of take care of them just in case you get that late caution. It's tough.
Austin Walton in the chat says, if a lap car catches me and he's trying to get around, I just let him go. I want to live to see another corner. Sounds like someone who listens to some Dirty Mo Media podcasting.
Oh, God, I hope not too much.
Well, we know your opinion on it, but I have to say I am a fan of it.
I love the podcast. I really do. I just one of them guys I might not get along with too well, but...
Interestingly enough here that these guys at the race lead, they didn't need to pit at this point in time, but they're going to come down and opt for those tires. They took advantage of their strategy to put them in track position that they wanted to be in, and now that Austin Walton decides to come down and pit because he had to, they're going to put themselves on equal footing with the 9, so he can't really gain back all those positions.
That's going to be an interesting call. I like that.
Defensive strategy with an offensive car. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So Tom Janikowski has a question for Zach Mill. It says, do you remember the Num Thumbs Racing League late model stock series we were in around 23 or 24? It's my first ever league. I really enjoyed that series.
Oh, you bet I do. That was a pretty good season. Actually, every race that season was really good for me, except for the finale, which was just kind of a demolition derby. But yeah, that was fun, man. That was a great season. Those guys were great over there. I miss a lot of those guys.
Austin Walton says, I don't listen to any of them. Well, if you get the opportunity, start with Door Bumper Clear. That is probably the best one to listen to. Freddie Kraft, you got Tommy Baldwin up in there. They got guests each and every week. Of course, they've got Carson Elledge in there as well. I couldn't remember it from the top of my life, but it's also unedited. There's no cursing bleep out, so you kind of get to hear the real versions of people. I think they had Bubba in there this week, and it's about an F-bomb about every 3 seconds, which, like it or don't, you're going to get the real version of those guys, and it is quite entertaining.
That was one of the most memorable things about Watkins Glen this year, Steve, is listening to the channels, and it's something about SVG's accent when he starts cursing. It's that much more funny.
I somehow knew you were going to SVG.
Yeah.
Jackson West says DBC is really the only one I can stand to listen to. Yeah, I mean, I like the download a whole lot better before they went away from the weekly guest type formats. That's to me, I like that a whole lot better than what they're running now. And I still listen because once in a while I hear something fun, but Rubbing His Racing is decent too. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. 95 laps on the board. It's been a very clean race to this point. Brenton Watts, as you predicted, Zach, starting to come back to the 12 of Ray Hanneman.
Oh, yeah.
Juan Linares, Clint Hayveld, Kerwin Marshall finishing up their pit stops.
This is where you kind of hope that he just lets you go. You know, it's like, I went up there, had my fun. Go ahead. You guys are racing for position. Have fun. Looks like that's what he's doing, so good on him.
Or is he? He's going to have a run here off of 2. Crosses over.
The crossover.
He gets back to the inside of Ray Hanneman here. And there's some contact. And we lose him. And he's back.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
Oh, and here we go.
Oh, yep, here we go.
Into the wall. Brandon Moore gets a piece of it, and that'll be our third caution of the night as the field splits him.
Oh.
Now here comes Ken Lowry, and he gets collected as well.
Well, Steve, I hate to say saw that one coming, but it
did we
right
not
was
just
on the wall,
I mean,
it?
we kind of called that.
Yeah, 13, 15, whatever laps ago we called that.
And
yeah.
look, I'll be honest here. Dustin does give us the lap count and the driver number, but I didn't put it together when we were talking about it. I hadn't looked at it in a while. I knew it was going to be about lap 97 when it happened, but I didn't piece it together that it was going to be the 21. I promise you.
Oh, man.
I swear on God and everybody watching.
Yeah, these tape delays, we do our best to not look at anything or have any kind of clue of what's going on. It's all a surprise like it's happening live for us. So that was that was just what it was.
And to be fair, the only reason we get the cautions is just because I can't go back and pull the replays. This way you guys can actually see what put us under the yellow flag, kind of analyze it in the chat after the fact.
Bro got Chase Ellioted.
It did look pretty similar, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yep.
So Hanneman leads the field down into pit lane. He'll take his final set of tires here. We got 27 laps to go at Kentucky Speedway under our third caution of the night. So this really kind of hurts Austin Walton here.
Yeah, this is kind of a nightmare with the lap down cars to see who's okay and who's stuck a lap down. I don't know. SDK is kind of freaking out. So
the other side of that too is even if Walton was on the lead lap, he burned that last set of tires, so he's still at a deficit even if he was on the lead lap.
That's true. Yeah, and it's been enough laps to where that's going to be very very obvious difference in pace.
Kerwin Marshall in the chat says, yep, caution screwed Walton and I. Kerwin, I'm assuming you guys are both on the same strategy there.
And that's what you hate to see, is somebody kind of not in the fight that draws the caution and messes up the strategy, because I love seeing how, the long run paces kind of come to fruition there. I love seeing the strategies play out at the very end.
So now it's just going to be who can manage the tires to the end of this run. I know it's much shorter than any green flag run we've had here tonight as far as the long stretches go. Fuel certainly won't be a concern for anybody at this point, but I guess the real question is, at what point in the run does the tire really start to fall off where you're battling that race car trying to force it to turn?
You kind of a flipped field here. We got a lot of the names that have been up front most of the night, kind of towards the middle of the field, and a lot of guys that were kind of in the middle of the field now up towards the front that showed a lot of pace all race long. So it's going to be interesting to see who can hold it up front till the end of this thing with 26, 25 laps to go.
Austin Walton in the chat says, yeah, and the 21's our teammate too, with a scrunchy face. That's the Homer Simpson. No.
Yep. It's gonna be an awkward morning meeting. Just better bring donuts, that's all.
I mean, again, in a way, I get it. You're out there with fresh tires. You feel like Superman and you're 10 feet tall. Not to mention bulletproof, but apparently not bulletproof enough. Racing with lead lap cars, they come together. And it seemed like Watts had it, but then maybe a touch of an overcorrection, and it shot up the racetrack.
Yeah, and it's one of those things hopefully he'll learn for the next time, like if your stuff's burned up and lead lap cars are going back around you that you passed them already, and, maybe not cross them over and, dive it in. But
if there's any silver lining to it, Zach, it's just like you said. I mean, making mistakes is how you learn, it's how you get better. None of us jumped on this thing and right out of the gate we're winning races. It takes time to kind of hone the racecraft, figure out the car, which changes pretty consistently with all the updates.
Yeah, yep, and I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Best way to learn is to make a mistake and learn from it.
So it'll be 24 laps to go when we take the green flag. Will it be a green flag run all the way to the finish? Front row is going to be Ray Hanneman and Briley Hassard. I'm going to make a note here. Ray Hanneman appeared to have not taken any legitimate damage from that contact with Brenton Watts. Maybe a little scuffed paint, if anything. The car looks pretty square, though, as we're set for the restart.
Yeah, she looks pretty clean, so that's fortunate for him because he's been fast all night. You'd hate to see it get ended like that, but he's in the right spot here, Steve.
Brett Summers got to tighten it up here.
Yeah, big gaps up back here.
He got it tightened up, but now that outside lane's all kind of going to accordion back,
Yeah.
Pace car is in, ready for the restart here at Kentucky Speedway. It's Hanneman and Hassard on the front row.
Really good start by both front cars here. Timed it pretty good.
Ben Smith in the chat says, let's go ZeroX. Oh, big contact. Cornette and Moore off turn 4, battling for that third spot. Jackson West to the outside of John Tiller. Jackson mentioned outside was really the only place he could get passes done. We'll see if he can hold off the 20 as he tries to defend from that same position. Has the run down the backstretch. So far, so good. Now has to go to the inside on Cornette. A big-time run down into turn 3. Slide jump in front of the 88. Ooh. Gets over the back bumper to 76. Straightens it back out. What a save.
Ooh, that's a piece of driving right there.
Man, oh man, a lot of great saves here tonight. It's going to cost him a ton of track position, though. West now back to 11th.
Oh, man, probably about 20% on that right rear, too, but it's worth not crashing. It's well done.
Hanneman still battling with Hassard now for the top spot. Hassard way up the racetrack. This has allowed Brandon Moore to close the gap.
I remember kind of what we've been talking about most of this race is getting out in front and in control of this race is huge. Absolutely huge. Once the first 10 laps or so of life runs dry on these tires, I mean, it makes it a lot easier to control this race as we see Hanneman kind of slide up here on exit and take control. Good run here by the 16, though. He's not done.
Hassard looking strong here in the late running. 19 laps to go.
Tell you, if Hazzard just runs a little bit lower, stays tight on Hanneman's car, he'd make this pretty hard for Hanneman to complete the pass. See, running that high, unfortunately, just makes it pretty easy for Hanneman to slide up and put that dirty air on his nose.
18 to go. These top 3 drivers really checking out from everybody else right now. Hanneman on point. Hassard going to get the wall here off of 2. Keeps it off of the 3. Good job by the 16. Avoiding a wreck there. Saves himself and the 3.
He's running that high for that many laps, too. He's really compiling that temperature in that right front. You can see it starting to give up a little quicker than the other 2 cars.
Last time by, out of the top 5, John Tiller was the fastest with the exception of Ray Hanneman. Hanneman ran a 30.71, Tiller a 30.88. Everybody else was a tick slower than the 20. Zach, he's a ways back. He's about 2.4 back. No, 1.2 back. Think he's got time?
Yeah, I think he's got time. I think the car is the best it's going to be right now because he's not really close enough to be hitting that dirty air, but he's close enough to get some drafts and pull on both ends of the straightaways. So I think we're going to see what he has here once he gets a little bit closer to that 3 car.
Brandon Moore, however, actually struggling a bit. Only driver in the top 5 with a 31-second lap. He picks it back up here this time by a 30.84. A little bit faster than the race leader. Hassard now the fastest in the top 5. Oh, big move by Chris Pieria in front of Jackson West. That was close.
That was close.
Nick Gardner's going to go around the outside here. Big run for the 27. Pieria thought he had an opportunity there. Now Ken Lowry. Lowry running 25th, though. He's not a lead lap car, so not a position effectively. Blaney and Cornette battling. Blaney had a longer stop than a typical fuel only. It was 11.6 seconds, maybe right sides only for the 22. Chris Cornette, however, that was fuel only, 8.5 seconds for the 88. Lap times between them, though, very close. 31.09 for Chris, 31.07 for Blaney.
And that just shows you how hard the passing is.
Another big move for Pieria.
You see that Napa car go a little low in the tri-oval there and hit those bumps. You can see the thing really start bouncing.
Really cost him on entry to turn 1, too. You see Lowry, the 35, will get to the outside. Again, not a position, but you just show the differential in speed, the delta, if it were.
It's one of those little tricks here for qualifying, too, Steve. Put in your back pocket. You don't want to cut the tri-oval here because of those bumps. You really scrub a lot of speed when that splitter's bouncing off the pavement so hard.
It's hard to get forward motion if you don't have the rear wheels on the ground. Back to the battle with Jason Blaney and Chris Cornette. Blaney almost clear here out of turn 2, and it's close. He gets clear of him, but Cornette back to the inside in 3. And at the same time, I hate to say it, Zach, but Hanneman's got company. Hassard's back to the back bumper here with 10 to go.
Well, he's back with the perfect amount of time to make the pass here. Looks like they put a little distance on Brandon Moore, too, so it's going to be interesting.
Hassard was a tenth, maybe a tenth and a half quicker than Hanneman the last time by. Hanneman stretches it back out to a car length and a half, maybe 2. Meanwhile, Johnny DePasquale, Kerwin Marshall contesting the 14th position. Johnny right there to the left rear of the 4th, start finish, 9 laps to go. Johnny has the inside into 1. A few lanes up the racetrack goes Kerwin Marshall. He'll have a run here out of turn number 2.
Ooh, a little tight.
Austin Walton still on the lead lap here. Now in the 12th position, just ahead of this battle. Alongside Nathan Line. These guys have been around each other most of the night, but Line in 22nd, a lap down. Pieria and Lowry almost coming together. They might have made a little contact there in the middle of turn 2. Pieria running in the 9th spot. It's got Wesley Jeanette behind him. Wesley was one of our front runners earlier on. Is mired back now to the 10th position. A big block there from Pieria.
Jeanette gives him a little bit of a bump there through the tri-oval, saying, hey, I'm here.
Meanwhile, Hanneman continues to lead. The deficit now stretches to 3.5 tenths back to Briley Hassard. Brandon Moore still 3rd, Tiller 4th. He's 3 seconds back now, so the leader's starting to check out from 4th, 5th, and on. Ben Smith now into the top 5. As Jason Blaney runs P6. Cornette 7th, Jackson West 8th. Wesley Jeanette goes around Pieria, will take the 9th spot. Wesley looks pretty strong right now. Still mired back in traffic. The lap time's not really matching the leaders at all at this point, but he's getting some passes made, picking up some points.
Guys, at this point, you kind of just have to get what you can get.
Four laps to go. That's the deficit now. Hanneman almost 4/10 out in front. Hassard was able to close the gap not too long ago. Three more circuits for Ray Hanneman. Hanneman with 2 wins on the season so far. Came into tonight 4th in the point standings. And I do want to make mention, I know we said it earlier, we had the wrong name at the top of the leaderboard in the point standings. Indeed, it is Wesley Jeanette. He's coming into tonight. He carried a 4 points advantage over second place, 28 over Brandon Moore.
Might have a battle for P3 here coming to the end of this thing. It looks like Tiller might have a little more pace than Brandon Moore at this current moment.
Coming back to the line, though. It'll be final lap for Ray Hanneman. And the gap increases to 6/10. So barring a major mistake out of the 12, no lap traffic out in front to be concerned with. He'll get win number 3 on the season into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Started in the 8th position here this evening. And he's going to be like Biff off turn number 4, looking for the checkered flag. He'll win it at Kentucky. Riley Hassard will solidify second place. Brandon Moore comes home in 3rd. Top 3 drivers, if you're watching and available, jump into your Discord. We'll pop on over and take care of those interviews here when we come back from our break. Teammate Jason Blaney coming in, giving him a shot. Got to give the guys in the shop something to do. I don't know if Clint Hayville's upset here or what. Usually they don't follow him all the way to the start-finish line. You know, for his 3rd win on the season, Hanneman's having some trouble out there. It's easier down in the grass. I think that's all she wrote for Ray Hanneman. We'll step aside here, get a short break out of the way. We'll be back, at least with one of our drivers after this. Stay with us. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Kentucky Speedway, the Be Like Biff 125 in the books, and Ray Hanneman picking up third win on the season. I think that makes it 2 in a row. Again, I get them all confused, but I think this is 2 in a row for Ray Hanneman. Let's pull the driver, the number 12, up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our race winner. Ray, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got us?
You got a copy.
Ray, congratulations, man. A solid run here tonight. 8th place qualifying effort, not terrible. Puts you into the top 10. As always, though, everybody's on different strategies here tonight as far as the tires and the fuel and all this and all that. Very long green flag cycle of pit stops, but in the end, you come out on top here. Walk us through the game plan coming into tonight, and then that long green flag run at the finish.
Well, tonight it was just about saving tires, really, and the saving tires come saving fuel. I wasn't the fastest in the practices, or really, I didn't feel like I was that fast on track. I guess I had pace, but I wasn't really. Everyone was making it work in 3 and 4 a lot differently than I was. I was trying to wrap the yellow, but it just wasn't like everyone had better exit out of 4. So I felt like I had good pace, but it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was in the cards for me tonight until that caution came on a lap 100, and luckily I still had 10 laps in the fuel tank when it came out, and it worked out in my favor. But definitely a little bit of strategy saving fuel played a long run here.
Got into a little scuffle with the 21 at the mid portion of the race. He was out there on fresh tires, but 6 laps down. You guys made a little bit of contact. Did it affect the handling on the race car at all after that?
No, none whatsoever. And I knew he was on fresher tires. I was trying to let him go. I caught back up to him, and I didn't think he was going to dive it into turn 3, and I tried to let him have the bottom there. He washed up a little bit, and I don't know what exactly happened. And watching back at the replay now, it's it looks like he got loose on exit of 4. I thought it was center 3 and 4 after he made contact when he got loose. So I was just praying I didn't get called for the incident there, but It was a hard racing, and we had a lot of good battles going through the field there after the pit stops. And I know a lot of the lap down cars were trying to make some positions, and then after about 3-4 laps, they move up. And everyone's entitled to the racetrack, so I'm not going to tell someone to move out of the way, and it just sucks that caused a caution there. But thankful for me it caused a caution because it got us back on the right strategy there near the end, but just sucks for everyone else that had a lot different strategy than us tonight.
Michigan Speedway next week, the closest we get to the Canadian border, I believe. Kind of a home race, but not quite. How do you prepare yourself for the 2-mile oval on the high banks in the Irish Hills?
I mean, it's going to be another, hopefully you got a lot of friends out there and work with the draft. If you can get a 4-car breakaway, we're honestly going to see a lot of the similarities with Auto Club, honestly. Like, it's not, the lines are a little bit different. It's a bit of a better track condition because there's not so many bumps unlike Auto Club, but honestly, I think near the end of that race, we had 4 or 5 cars up front kind of pulling away. So if you get a good drafting squad, you can go 5 wide in the turns there and then kind of off single file back on the front stretch or back stretch. You can kind of pull away as long as it's some of them saving fuel, jockey some cars out to save fuel. I think some good strategies are going to come, but you won't know until the race. I mean, practice... you could practice with a lot of people and see the different strategies, but I definitely feel like on race night itself, we'll see who's going to work well together for sure.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. Michigan tends to put on some pretty damn good races, so that should be a fun one next week here at Track Limits Network. Ray, congratulations on the win here tonight, man. Who do you want to thank?
I got to thank the girlfriend for watching and letting me race every single week. I got to thank all the guys over at Fueled Up Motorsports for bringing out another solid number 12 car tonight. This iStats, Clark Heating and Cooling, Ammon Box, Ream, Ford Mustang was incredible tonight for the second win of the season. Happy that it all worked out, and got to thank the teammates, Tiller, Brandon Moore, Kenneth. I got to thank Wesley Jeanette. We had some good battles out there. Jason Blaney, we had some good battles. Deep Pasquale, him and I got into it a little bit into turn 1 and turn 3 there, but all in all it worked out. I got to thank you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast, all the fans watching, all the competitors out there. It's great racing with every single person, and just got to thank again all the fans for watching every single week and letting us do what we do in front of you guys. It's really appreciative.
All right, Ray. Well, again, job well done. Thank you for talking to us. Good luck next week at MIS.
Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Ray Henneman, your race winner here at Kentucky Speedway. We don't have anybody else available for comment here tonight, so that'll do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's get into our race results. Of course, we talked to Ray Henneman, your race winner here this evening. Briley Hassard, a strong run. He'll finish P2. Brandon Moore was third. John Tiller, we're always wondering what's going on with that 20. He's been quick this season. He jumps up in that 4th position. Ben Smith, a solid top 5. Jason Blaney finishes 6th. Chris Cornett was 7th. Wesley Jeanette finishes in the 8th position. Going back to Chris Cornett, though, 22 positions gained. Started 27th here tonight, so if there's a hard charger award, it goes to the 88. Again, Wesley Jeanette was 8th. Chris Pieri 9th. Austin Walton, the pole sitter, finishes 10th after some oddball strategy. It could have worked out, but kind of got bit late by the caution. Jackson West finishes 11th. Matt Sisler was 12th. Brett Summers was 13th. Nick Gardner 14th. Juan Linares comes home in the 15th position. 16th was Johnny D. Pasquale. 17th, Kerwin Marshall. 18th was Clint Hayfield. Nathaniel Ostrowski finishes 19th. Tommy Pulte was 20th. Nathan Lyon 21st. Cody Austin comes home in the 22nd spot. Darren Jones 23rd. Ken Lowry 24th. Jason Aranchak 25th. Tony Smith was 26th. 27th went to Scott Stockel. 28th to 21 of Brenton Watts. And last but not least, the 14 of Michael Thorne wraps this one up. 29th position, 70 laps down. It's your race results here for the Be Life Biff 125. You don't want to get too far out of this one before we thank the sponsors. 217 side-by-side riders. Snowbelt Industries, Hot Sauce Daddy, ZeroX Media and Design, and Fueled Up. These guys participate, whether it's financially, with product, whatever it may be. They really help this league and keep it running season in and season out. So we thank them for their participation. Zach, thanks for jumping up in the booth here tonight. I mean, what's your takeaway from tonight's race here at Kentucky?
I thought it was a pretty good race, man. Anytime we get long green flag runs like that, I fully enjoy watching it. It's great. I love seeing them play out, and even with the caution at the end, it kind of played out differently than what we were anticipating. So it was fun to watch everybody kind of battle it out there for the last little bit, and it was a really good one to watch, man.
Very clean race. I made mention to Dustin when he sent us the caution lap numbers is only 3. All right, pretty clean. All right, that's good. Looking forward to that. But looking forward to things. Speaking of that, tomorrow night, more racing action here at Track Limits Network. We're at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway for the Golden Asphalt Racing League. That'll be a fun one to watch. Tune in here. It's usually pretty quick. It's another tape-delayed race. We're going to get them live, too, once we switch ZeroX back to live, so we can move everybody back a day. And then a one-off. We're going to the 4Wide Motorsports Indy 500, Friday evening, 7:30 p.m. in the East here at Track Limits Network. That is a full-distance Indy 500 race here at Track Limits Network. Zach Millett will be in jail. He won't be in the booth here this time, but Cole Ansley will join me in the booth. Unfortunately, we were hoping to get a 3-man booth, but it'll only be the 2 of us. Either way, it should be fun. The cocktails will be ice cold, and we'll be having a good time. So for everybody watching tonight, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being involved in the stream chat, and thanks for showing up every week. Thanks again, Zach Millett, for helping us out here in the booth tonight.
You got it, man. Anytime.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you at the next one.